Hey guys, Gary Bernier, Whiskey Sommelier, and I'm going to recap the Spirit of Toronto Eschenville Distillery tasting with Jarlath Watson that we did. And this, I know I previewed this. This was truly a wonderful tasting where Jarlath took us through the various differences that you get with sherry cask finishes. And this is Irish whiskey with a sherry cask finish. So that was kind of new to me. The one that he started us out with, which I really enjoyed, was actually number 2 on the sample, which was the Three Crowns. This has a very delightful bouquet, and he referred to this as a breakfast whiskey. And it's very easy drinking. He said if I wanted to introduce somebody to whiskey that wasn't really familiar with whiskey, then I'd introduce them with the Dunville Three Crowns, and I think that is an excellent recommendation. It's light, it's soft, buttery, as he says, excellent breakfast whiskey. We then moved on from the Three Crowns to the 1880, which is kind of your standard Dunville run-of-the-mill blend, and it is a blend. And what I really liked about this one is the hint of smoke. Again, Irish whiskey, hint of smoke. And this has a much more complex and involved finish than the Three Crowns. So, good daily drinker. The Three Crowns, excellent breakfast whiskey. We then moved on to the two sherry finishes, and the difference between number 3 and number 4, these are both Dunvilles. The whiskey is aged the same amount of time, 8 years, and then what's different is the amount of time it spends in the sherry cask. So the first one is 2 years, and the second one is 4 years, and you can see it's a little bit darker. It's picked up a little bit more of that sherry color. And so this is where we start to explore the sherry finish, because the whiskey stayed the same, but the amount of time in the sherry cask changed. The 10 is nice. The 12 is just that little bit sweeter. It's got a little bit more of that sherry influence. Both very nice. Looking for some of this to show up in the LCBO soon. Now, this next one is kind of an outlier, but still fun because it's an Oloroso sherry cask. It's a 13-year-old. But this wasn't necessarily the Dunville blend. It was an opportunity to see what they could do with somebody else's whiskey. Very nice, a little bit sharper, a little bit more astringent. Okay, so now the trio that are just everybody gets excited about. And this is the 21-year-old Palo Cortado, 20-year-old Oloroso, and the 20-year-old PX. So again, what's changing is the type of sherry that the whiskey has been aging in. And so start with the Palo Cortado. You can see color-wise is the second darkest. Actually, the Oloroso is the lightest. Oloroso I can almost pick out now because of the smell, but the Palo Cortado is just real nice on the nose. Again, a lot stronger because these are now cask strength, and these open up, and it's good to play with a little bit of water on these, add a drop. The Oloroso is softer than the Palo Cortado. Now we'll go to the PX. Much more sweeter in the PX. Pedro Jimenez is what PX stands for. So Very interesting tasting, nice journey through the effects of sherry cask and the amount of time that the whiskey is spent in the sherry cask. And this is coming out of Northern Ireland. This is, check out the Dunville releases in Northern Ireland. They're awesome. And great way to line up a tasting. Jareth, thank you for putting this together for us. I really enjoyed my time with you. Great stories on the history, on how old the Dunville and successful the Dunville distillery was, and what's going on with Eschenville and their and what you're doing with the Dunville distillery. So thank you very much for that, and look forward to drinking more of your product. Cheers.